Good evening. Welcome to Election Night 2020. Tonight we have Jeff Merkley, the senator from the great state of Oregon, versus Donald Trump, the incumbent president of the United States. We now have our 7 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings from the states of Kentucky, South Carolina, Georgia, Indiana, Vermont, and Virginia. Out of the state of Kentucky, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 8 electoral votes. Out of the state of South Carolina, 9 electoral votes will land in the Trump column tonight. Out of Vice President Mike Pence's home state, Indiana, 11 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Out of the state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes, a much earlier call than in 2016. Donald Trump, the projected winner. Now to the state of Vermont, the first Democratic victory of tonight, 3 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. Now to the state of Virginia, it is too close to call, a Clinton state from 2016. Jeff Merkley maintains a 1% lead, and on the current electoral map, we have 3 electoral votes for Senator Merkley and 44 for President Trump. We now have our 7:30 p.m. poll closings from the states of West Virginia, Ohio, and North Carolina, all states that Donald Trump carried in the 2016 general election. Out of the state of West Virginia, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 5 electoral votes. Now out of the state of North Carolina, it is too close to call with 19% of persons reporting. Donald Trump maintains a solid 5% lead. Out of the state of Ohio, it is also too close to call with 15% reporting. Jeff Merkley maintains a 1% lead. And on the current electoral map, Donald Trump maintains his lead with 49 electoral votes to Jeff Merkley's 3. It is now time for the 8 p.m. poll closings. All the states in yellow and the states on the left, their polls have closed. Out of the state of Oklahoma, Donald Trump will carry their 7 electoral votes. Out of the state of Missouri, 10 electoral votes lands in the Trump column tonight. Out of the state of Mississippi, 6 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Out of the state of Alabama, 9 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Out of the state of Tennessee, the volunteer state, 11 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Now out of the state of Illinois, 20 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. Out of the state of Maryland, the most Democratic state in the Union, 10 electoral votes goes to Jeff Merkley. Now out of the state of Delaware, 3 electoral votes projected to go to Jeff Merkley. Jeff Merkley will also carry the District of Columbia, the most liberal part of the United States. Out of the state of New Jersey, 14 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. Out of the state of Connecticut, 7 electoral votes, an earlier call than in 2016, still expected to go to Jeff Merkley. Out of the state of Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. And out of the state of Massachusetts, the second most liberal state in the Union, 11 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. Now to the state of Maine, all 4 of their electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. If you remember, we covered Bernie Sanders campaigning heavily for Jeff Merkley in the final weeks of the campaign. It seems it's worked in the 2nd Congressional District, and Jeff Merkley will carry all 4 of their electoral votes. Out of the state of New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes will land in the Jeff Merkley column tonight, one of the closest races in 2016, called at poll closing time. And out of the state of Pennsylvania, it is too close to call with 1% reporting. Right now, a Democratic precinct is reporting with a 20% lead for Jeff Merkley. Out of the state of Florida, it is too close to call with 75% reporting. Jeff Merkley maintains a 3% lead over President Trump. And on the current electoral map, 83 for Jeff Merkley, while Donald Trump maintains his lead of 92 electoral votes. It is now time for the 8:30 p.m. poll closings from the sole state of Arkansas, President Bill Clinton's home state, and the state will go to President Trump. Donald Trump is the projected winner of Arkansas's 6 electoral votes, and little to no change on the current electoral map, 91 electoral votes for Jeff Merkley. We had an error in the last one, which is why it has increased. However, Donald Trump has increased his margin by 6 with 98 electoral votes. It's now time for the 9 p.m. poll closings. All the states on the left, their polls have closed. Out of the state of Kansas, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 6 electoral votes. Out of the state of Nebraska, all 5 of their electoral votes are now projected to go to President Trump. Out of the state of South Dakota, 3 electoral votes will go to President Trump, and as goes South Dakota, so does North Dakota, with their 3 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Now to the state of Wyoming, 3 electoral votes projected to go to President Trump. Now to the state of Louisiana, 8 electoral votes projected to go to President Trump. And out of the state of Texas, 38 electoral votes projected to go to President Trump. Now to the state of Arizona, a much earlier call than in 2016, Donald Trump the projected winner of their 11 electoral votes. Now to the state of New Mexico, 5 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. And out of the state of New York, 29 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley in a big win. Out of the state of Wisconsin, it is too close to call with their 10 electoral votes, a Trump state from 2016. Out of the state of Colorado, it is also too close to call. Jeff Merkley maintains a 2% lead. Out of the state of Michigan, another Trump state from 2016, the state he won by the least amount, the state he is least popular in, 2% reporting. Jeff Merkley maintains a 1% lead. And out of the state of Minnesota, it was too close to call a Clinton state from 2016 that Donald Trump is currently leading it by 2%. And on the current electoral map, Donald Trump has 175 electoral votes, Jeff Merkley's 117. We now have the time for the 10 p.m. poll closings. Montana, Iowa, Utah, and Nevada. Out of the state of Montana, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes. Out of the state of Utah, 6 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Out of the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes will retain in the Donald Trump column tonight. In the state of Nevada, it is too close to call with 13% of recent reporting. Donald Trump with an exact tie against Jeff Merkley, 49% to 49%. And on the current electoral map, Donald Trump maintains his lead with 190 electoral votes, while Jeff Merkley is behind at 117. It is now time for the 11 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings. California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and Idaho. Out of the state of California, the biggest prize in the union, 55 electoral votes, will go to Jeff Merkley. Out of the state of Oregon, 7 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley in a decisive victory. Out of the state of Washington, 12 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. And out of the state of Hawaii, 4 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley. Now for Donald Trump, he will carry the state of Idaho, and there are 4 electoral votes. And on the current electoral map, Jeff Merkley now taking the lead with 195 electoral votes, one more than President Trump's 194. It is now 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and we can now make state calls out of the states of North Carolina, Ohio, and Florida. Out of the state of Ohio, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 18 electoral votes. Out of the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes, a decisive victory for President Trump. And out of the state of Florida, Donald Trump will carry their 29 electoral votes. This was the most hotly contested and most watched swing state of the 2020 general election. Donald Trump will win their 29 electoral votes, and that puts him at 256 electoral votes on our current electoral map, with Jeff Merkley behind at 195. We can now make calls out of the states of Wisconsin, Colorado, and Virginia at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time. Out of the state of Wisconsin, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 10 electoral votes. Out of the state of Colorado, Jeff Merkley will carry their 9 electoral votes. Out of the state of Virginia, 13 electoral votes will go to Jeff Merkley in a decisive victory, much closer than in 2016. And on the current electoral map, Jeff Merkley has now broken the 200 barrier at 217 electoral votes, while Donald Trump is 4 away from the presidency of the United States at 266 electoral votes. It is now time for the 1 a.m. poll closing and a state call from the state of Pennsylvania. Out of the state of Alaska, Donald Trump will carry their 3 electoral votes. And out of the state of Pennsylvania, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 20 electoral votes in a decisive victory, one of the states he is unpopular in. However, Jeff Merkley failed to beat the incumbent in this race. And let's see where that puts him on the electoral map. 289 electoral votes for President Trump. He needed 270 to win, which means Donald Trump will be re-elected as President of the United States. Donald Trump will go on for a second term in the United States presidency. Donald Trump has been re-elected in a decisive victory, well over 270 needed. This was not a close election, nor was it a Democratic blowout. Donald Trump will carry the state of Pennsylvania, putting him over the top, putting him at 289 electoral votes. Donald Trump will be re-elected as President of the United States. It is now at 1 a.m., 15 a.m. Eastern Time. We can now make calls out of the states of Michigan and Nevada. Out of the state of Michigan, 16 electoral votes will go to President Trump in a decisive victory. 16 electoral votes only adds to his count now. And out of the state of Nevada, a flip from 2016, a Hillary Clinton state. 6 electoral votes will lead the Democratic column and go to President Trump. Now, on the current electoral map, Donald Trump is at 311 electoral votes, well over the 270 needed, and over the 306 margin he got in 2016, while Jeff Merkley is behind at 217 electoral votes. It is now 1 week later, and the Secretary of State has called the state of Minnesota in one of the closest races in Minnesota in United States election history, and Donald Trump will carry the state of Minnesota by 125 votes, and their 10 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. The Jeff Merkley campaign has neglected to comment as to whether or not they will contest the results and the Electoral College votes in December, and it is not likely that they will. Donald Trump will be the victor out of the state of Minnesota and their 10 electoral votes, and on the current electoral map, Donald Trump has 321 electoral votes, and Jeff Merkley is behind at 217. Overall, Donald Trump Trump was re-elected as President of the United States. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want to contact me personally, like I said before, go to @LTEupdates on Twitter, and my Patreon is patreon.com/LTE. And upcoming, I'm going to have your suggestions for election nights and prediction videos, so just comment them below. Comment notifications on if you're early to my videos, and if you want to see my most previous election night of Tulsi Gabbard versus President Trump, click on the left, subscribe in the center, and you want to watch YouTube's suggested video for you. They have this feature now for channels where it suggests a video based on what you've watched from my channel. So if you want to see what YouTube suggests you to watch, then you can click on the right. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you tomorrow.